Have you ever walked away from a conversation only for your brain to instantly start fighting itself? Wait, were they actually flirting with me, or am I just imagining things again? We've all been there. Most of us look for massive, obvious signs, loud confessions, dramatic flirting, or unmistakable attention. But attraction rarely speaks out loud. It whispers. Long before someone's mouth finds the courage to say, "I like you," their nervous system is already leaking the truth through tiny subconscious biological signals. If you are tired of the constant overthinking and want to stop guessing, you need to understand the hidden layers of behavior that most people walk right past. When multiple physical signs start showing up together, it is no longer a coincidence. It is an invitation. Here is the deep behavioral psychology behind the 7 signs that someone is secretly attracted to you. To understand why these signals exist, we have to look at how human connection is wired. Neuroscience shows that when we are drawn to someone, our brain experiences an involuntary surge of hormones like oxytocin and dopamine. This internal chemistry creates an emotional tension that the physical body simply cannot contain. Because people know their faces are being watched, they try to manage their expressions. However, the human nervous system automatically overrides this conscious control, forcing nervous energy to escape through subtle movements. They are trying to present themselves perfectly in your presence, and by paying attention to this quiet pattern underneath the surface of words, you can read their true intentions. Sign 1. The micro-expression of joy. The first sign happens so fast you might miss it completely, in less than a fifth of a second. Behavioral psychologists call it the eyebrow flash. The moment we unexpectedly spot someone we are genuinely drawn to, the brain triggers an involuntary split-second lift of the eyebrows. It is an automatic, primitive recognition of safety and desire. Don't look at their face after they've had time to compose themselves and offer a polite smile. Watch their eyes the exact half-second their gaze lands on you. If those brows lift even slightly, their subconscious has already celebrated your arrival. Sign 2. The honest alignment. While people easily learn to force smiles or mask their eyes, nobody thinks about their feet. Body language researchers have consistently found that the lower limbs are the most honest part of the human body, precisely because they receive zero conscious control. When someone secretly desires your presence, their feet will instinctively point directly toward you. Even in a crowded group setting, and even if they are actively talking to someone else across the circle, if their feet are anchored in your direction, their emotional focus is right there with you. This happens because the human brain despises cognitive dissonance, the discomfort of feeling one thing deeply while trying to act completely indifferent. When someone is secretly attracted to you, their subconscious mind is constantly trying to bridge the gap between their hidden desire and their outward caution. As a result, the suppressed emotional energy creates a physical overflow that manifests as microbehaviors. These cues act as an autonomous language, a biological whisper that speaks directly to your instincts. By training yourself to notice these shifts, you stop analyzing abstract possibilities and start reading concrete reality. You move from a state of anxious guessing to one of calm, psychological clarity. Sign 3. Behavioral synchrony. You might notice a strange phenomenon when sitting with them. You lean back, and a few seconds later, they lean back. You touch your face, and moments later, they match your movement. Psychologists call this behavioral synchrony. When someone feels emotionally connected to your energy, their brain naturally mirrors your posture and gestures. They aren't consciously copying you. Their nervous system is simply falling into a shared, harmonious rhythm with yours because it likes your vibe. Sign 4. The nervous vocal shift. Attraction alters our physiological state, triggering a mild wave of subconscious anxiety. This internal tension makes us intensely self-aware, and it often cracks the voice. Pay close attention to how they speak to the world versus how they speak to you. You might notice them stuttering slightly more than normal or stumbling over simple words. If they are normally loud and chaotic with a group, but their voice suddenly drops into a softer, slower, and calmer rhythm the moment they speak to you, They are unconsciously shifting their tone to build an intimate boundary around you. Sign 5. Incidental haptic communication. We are talking about what behavioral psychology calls haptic communication, the dramatic increase in casual, seemingly accidental physical contact. A light brush of the forearm when making a point, a playful nudge of the shoulder while laughing, or always choosing to sit close to you even when there is plenty of open space elsewhere. These look like accidents, but the body naturally craves proximity to what it values. These incidental touches are subconscious comfort tests, quietly checking if closeness feels natural to both of you. Sign 6. Attraction as a memory upgrade. The human brain is intensely selective about what it retains. To protect you from cognitive overload, your mind filters out 90% of the useless data you hear every day. But when we develop deep feelings for someone, the brain quietly upgrades everything that person says to critical importance. If they remember a tiny detail you casually mentioned weeks ago, the specific childhood memory you shared, your favorite obscure snack, or a passing comment about a sick pet, that is a profound psychological indicator. If they are storing your small things in their mind, you are no longer a small thing to them. Sign 7. The social echo, the final boss. This sign moves past the individual and enters their inner circle. If you meet their friends or coworkers, and those people instantly recognize your name, your hobbies, or a specific story, you have reached the final boss of attraction. People do not brief their entire squad on individuals they do not care about. If their friends tease them the moment you walk into the room, or give you a subtle, knowing smile, it means you have already been the main character in conversations you weren't even invited to. Misreading signals goes both ways. Seeing things that aren't there can cause brief embarrassment, but missing things that are there can cause a lifetime of regret. Many people spend weeks or months trapped in a loop of endless rumination, trading their valuable time for the safety of a mind that never rests. They choose to stay inside their thoughts, overanalyzing every detail because they are afraid of rejection. But your time is too valuable to spend on endless guessing. Not every silence is a hidden rejection, and people cannot fully hide how they feel. Stop overthinking the variables and stop replaying the scenarios in your head. If you see these signs overlapping in your life right now, take the leap and make a move. Reality will always be messier than your imagination, but it will also be infinitely more alive, more surprising, and more meaningful. If a specific person crossed your mind while watching this, stop letting them live solely inside your thoughts. Share this video with them. It might be the exact comfort and the exact invitation they have been waiting for. Step out of the abstract analysis. Step into the presence of what is real. And remember to give your mind the rest, the sweetness, and the peace it deserves. Milk and honey for your soul.